Hey guys, it's Joshua Myers, aka Mobon Kiki, or the Kaiser Creative. Today we're doing a sketch with me part 2, and I want to leave off where I was on my ink with me part 1, and I was talking about dissociation. Dissociation. Told you I'd be messing it up, and just talking in like the stream of consciousness, because I was watching this video. If I could find my note, I'll put it somewhere. Of course it wants to get lost right before I start recording. See if I can find it as I'm talking to y'all. It's not looking good, y'all. Is it over there? Where did I put? It's in my pocket. It's in my pocket, y'all. So first, I'm gonna start with Rekaholic's video. She said a lot of stuff that I had resonated with, and it has to do with putting videos on a pedestal and not posting because of said pedestal. And it's the whole reason why I had made my video don't losing my train of thought, y'all. Hold on. To basically overcoming perfectionism, like in that perfectionism, and to y'all, I can't think of the name of this video for the life of me right now. The video I'm talking about is, we about to find it, y'all. I got you. Shouldn't even have my phone with me right here, but this is one of the times I actually needed to find the name of something. Overcoming perfectionism, embracing my process. And I'm trying to embrace the process even more by making these candid videos, because one, I already like candids. Like, even in photos, I like seeing off guards. If you don't know what a candid is, it's basically just an off guard. It's an off guard picture, and it's just the vocabulary of a photographer would normally use for it. I found out about it during a photo class. But Rekaholic was making a video about that because she's going through a similar thing. And in order to push out more content while also showing y'all what I do and showing y'all like the drawings I do in a realistic way, showing y'all like not every picture is perfect, and that I got plenty of work to show y'all whether or not I actually want to show it or not. You feel me? And like, I didn't go to college for no reason. Like, I gotta show y'all what I did. But yeah, I had wrote my note. I was like, putting these videos on the pedestal causes me not to post, what we had just went over, and how she had put that on the spotlight. And she also has the issue with saying and a lot, just like me, because just like her, I'm a little socially awkward. May not seem like it a lot at first, but I be thinking a lot during my conversation. It's like, ooh, what do I say next? And I be taking myself out of the conversation in terms of like what the person's talking about a lot of the time, because I'm trying to figure out what to say and to sound interesting. But at the end of the day, like, I need to stop doing that. And I gotta, just because I personally want to stop doing that. I don't want to be as like socially awkward. And I also want to be more confident in my speaking. I've never been like the most confident speaker. I don't like speaking in front of crowds. I don't even like being in the center of attention all the time. Crazy with the fact I'm doing YouTube, ain't it? At least it seems like it. But I've noticed a lot of introverts are on YouTube. Like Rekaholic being one, and the other person I'm gonna mention, Jonny Mozza. I'm not sure if y'all have been seeing him, but Jonny Mozza has been showing up on my timeline so much lately because he's been making like daily videos, and he just goes from location to location talking about like the stream of consciousness and what he's going through at the moment, and how he would rather watch people who are sorting through a problem rather than someone who's already like figured it out and is just kind of preaching it to you. And that resonated a lot with me because like when I was talking about did it again, dissociation, derealization, depersonalization, and my Ink With Me video, I was saying how I was listening to podcasts. And to me, podcasts are just very candid. And I love that. It's like a stream of consciousness. Both people are just talking to each other and it's laid back. It feels more genuine, almost like you're part of the conversation. And I like content like that, you know, even when it comes to like music. I mean, like people like my all-time favorite was Eminem before I had found Juice World. And my cousin, I'm wearing his hoodie, had showed me Juice World. I didn't like the music at first, and then eventually I did. And when I did, I was hooked. I was hooked. And it even got to the point where listening to Unreleased and all that, like I've listened to so much unreleased Juice World. Like if y'all ever need to talk about some unreleased music, 9 times out of 10, I probably know about it. Not gonna lie. Me and my cousin used to listen to them all the time. And I'd even just listen to them by myself. But yeah, see, there goes that I should probably call myself out a little bit while I do it. But like the reason why I bring Juice World up is he'd freestyle a lot. He'd either be freestyling or punching in. And it felt genuine. Like it was like a stream of consciousness, but in a form of rap, in a form of music. And I really appreciate a craft like that because it shows how human you are. And at the end of the day, I feel like the value of being human is being devalued, especially with AI coming up. We all got our issues with AI, I hope. Because like, have y'all not watched apocalyptic movies? And like a lot of people who are making AI, y'all making humanoid looking robots. I don't like that. We don't need that. We don't need that. If anything, we just need something to use as a tool to help us out. We don't need anything that's going to like override our entire day. We're human, y'all. Like we're just constantly, at least in America, we're just constantly taking ourselves away from nature. And nature is so important for us. Like nature allows us to reflect and it also grounds us. It forces us to touch grass. And a lot of people are already not touching that much grass. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a homebody. I like to be inside. But I also like to touch my grass. I played football. I've been around a lot of grass. Grass be making me itchy from being on it for so long. That's how much I've been on grass because I'm like 3-hour-long practices right after school during high school. But yeah, see, I say again because I'm trying to think of what I want to say next instead of just letting it out. But I want to have more of a stream of consciousness as I talk to y'all. And I want y'all to be able to like really be able to see in my world and see the way I think. I also want to see how I think because like I'm starting to write a lot because of the morning pages from the Artist Way right here by Julia Cameron. I highly recommend that book if y'all haven't looked into it before because like it helps you. Basically, the whole point is to help you get more in tune with your creative self. And I feel like a lot of us are avoiding or losing our sense of self just because we're scrolling on TikTok all day, scrolling on Instagram all day, on YouTube all day. Like I've watched a few YouTube videos that was basically like, yeah, you should lower your consumption. You should create more than you consume. You should You should watch less videos. And that's a crazy thing to hear from a YouTube video. Like, ain't that ironic? Ain't that absurd? And I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling the viewer, I'm telling you that right now. But my laptop likes to turn off. I want to make sure I'm not over talking. But I know this video is going to be just a little lengthy, just about 26 minutes. I had to re-record this one because originally I was talking about the derealization and depersonalization for this picture, but it has nothing to do with this picture. And yeah, sure, not everything has to be correlated, but I may have, I think I said a little more than I would have liked. And due to that, like, there's still personal experiences I'd like to keep to myself. And like, I feel like it was more meant for the Ink With Me video because of the fact it was for a picture titled I'm Not Real. I think I never was. And it has a person looking in a mirror feeling real dissociated. Told y'all, I say it that way a lot. I was trying to figure out how to spell it because I normally spell it on my phone. So when I was writing it down in one of my morning pages, I ended up spelling it so wrong. Remind y'all, I can spell. Personally, I take pride in the fact I can spell. I know phonics. But when I was spelling that word, since I be saying it wrong, I was spelling it wrong. And that bothered me. Maybe it's because I haven't wrote the word down in so long, because I intentionally stopped looking the word up that much because it would send me down another spiral of dissociation. But now I don't let that word have that much power over me because of the fact I have more ways to ground myself now. But yeah, if y'all are wondering who I'm drawing in this picture, it's Zola. She is the elf that can be found in my book, Asmodeus Part 1. I would show y'all the book if I got y'all. I'm moving this camera with me. So right here, Asmodeus Part 1. And it's about a recently appointed Grim Reaper who is trying to maintain the balance between the spirit and the living realm. Think like a little bit of Avatar, and also think Soul Eater. Asmodeus's hair is actually inspired by Black Star's hair. Black Star's hair is the shape of the star, and Asmodeus is too. Not only that, at first his hair was super flat. I had to fix that because it didn't match up with how I was trying to just regularly draw him. Flat hair with a 3D body don't look right. It just don't. Some people can make it look right, but not me. I didn't like it. So I ended up changing it, making it more I guess you could say clumpy. And then eventually I was like, oh, these are just wicks. They're wicks. He's a black character anyway. He got wicks. And Zola, just the elfie, has to make sure gets to her body before someone else can take it. And I just wanted to draw her from while I was looking at some reference material on Pinterest. I want to get more comfortable drawing my characters, and I want to get more comfortable sharing their stories, Zola is the princess in her again. Zola is the princess where she's from. She's the princess of the higher elves. There are not a lower class of elves for a specific reason that y'all will figure out in the second chapter. But she's innocent. She's actually she has a pure heart. She's a pure soul. And she has a duality with Asmodeus because Asmodeus has went through some dark times because he lost his brother. Not only that, he has to deal with the living and the dead so much, regardless of the fact that he can't even talk to his deceased brother, because after the Grim Reapers are after they're no longer here, they no longer exist. So there's no way to talk to them again. You know, like this ain't Avatar to where you can speak to your past lives. This ain't I don't know. I guess you could say I sort of got the idea from like Dragon Ball, if I'm not mistaken, because one, Dragon Ball influences me a whole lot. Dragon Ball is the whole reason why I started drawing. If you started drawing because of Dragon Ball, let me know in the comments below. But if I remember correctly, if a person were to pass while they were already in the spirit realm, they would no longer exist. I wouldn't take that idea, but only for the Grim Reapers. And I also had like, there's one other idea that I have from there. Y'all know Gotenks for my Dragon Ball watchers and his Super Ghost Kamikaze attack. Asmodeus has a similar thing, but he does it with gumballs. And it's these creatures that I said again. Basically, there's these souls that he puts in this gumball machine. I'm gonna show you off his gumball machine. It looks like this. So they go in there and they become these gumballs that you see right here. So when he does blow a bubble with the gumballs, these form, these little creatures. And you can think of them like golems. And you can also think of it like a Mr. Meeseeks from Rick and Morty, for my Rick and Morty watchers. I watch a lot of stuff, y'all. I've watched a lot of stuff, and I'm currently watching The Walking Dead. But when he does that, they basically help him track down other souls so he can make sure they get to where they need to. They also help him fight. They help him just do a lot of things, you know. And after they do their task, they disappear. They go away. Now, they don't always go away right away. Like, it's on Asmodeus to choose that. And they can definitely be taken out by the people who are fighting them, but normally they overpower them. So yeah, I try my best to make sure I'm using my inspirations and putting them in my stories, because that's how you make a story at the end of the day. And no story is ever like 100% original, because like there's this obsession that people have with being original, and I'm not gonna lie, I was one of them. Still am to an extent. I'm growing out of it, y'all. But like, originality at the end of the day is an amalgamation of your inspirations, because you have to be inspired by something to even make something. You know what I mean? Even if it's a dream. And we take little parts, bits and pieces, and make it into our own. You know, we don't directly bite off of it. Like, let's see. It's not like I'm using Saiyans for my story. I'm using Grim Reapers. Come on. And even with the Grim Reapers, like, there's a Grim Reaper in Soul Eater, right? But for that Grim Reaper, you got he is, excuse me, I'm sorry. He is literally just very humorous. He's only serious when he's fighting, and like, he has a lot of others do his job most of the time. Asmodeus ain't doing that unless he's using his gumball creatures. And like, you know, he has that throne still, is just different from the Grim Reaper and Soul Eater. And like, I don't even have them eating souls on here. Now, I might end up using that, because that was an interesting concept to me. But yeah, like, Asmodeus represents, for me, he represents wrath. and he represents like wrath, and he represents like, I guess you could say, survivor's remorse, especially now. But like, I just think having a meaning behind the names of my characters is like a big thing for me because of something else I was inspired by with Akira Toriyama. If you've noticed, I'm pretty sure my Dragon Ball watchers have noticed. All of his characters are puns. All of them. Kakarot being carrot. Vegeta is the first part of vegetable, and his brother's name is Tarble. It would spell is basically spelling vegetable. Piccolo being, I believe he was an instrument. Krillin, I forget what his was. I said again. See, I'm calling myself out. What else? Well, Frieza, King Cold. Come on, there's puns, and he does it for certain people. So when I'm using stuff, it is either because of the meaning behind a name or it's a pun upon something. And Asmodeus, you can easily just look up, and you might even be familiar with the name if you play D&D, and if you've looked into any mythology from certain religions, because he'd show up in some of them, but he'd be specifically in the mythological part of said religion. Like, I haven't seen him confirmed as like a real person, at least not for the religions that are commonly practiced in America. But yeah, I had got the inspiration from that, and I've been using it since. I made it into my own. Even for Zola, like, her name is an African, it comes from Africa. And if I'm not mistaken, I gotta look this up real quick, y'all. Zola, what does Zola mean? I don't know everything, y'all. I'm human, just like you. Zola means stay in peace. It's a gender neutral name from Africa, specifically from South Africa. I don't know which part of South Africa, but yeah. It's also pronounced, I think it's Zosha, Shosa. And yeah, like, it just symbolizes staying in peace, and she's all about peace. She's pure. She has white magic. And Asmodeus, on the other hand, he predominantly uses dark magic, but he uses it for the good. So he's different compared to like Lilith. You'll meet Lilith in part 2. And yeah, I just use that time I just make sure I get to have a meaning behind all of them. That way it's easier to actually make the character. Because like, for me, kind of find it hard for me to make a story for a character. Like, I have no problem drawing a character for the most part, but when it comes to making a story for them, that's a whole different story. No pun intended. But yeah, this video is wrapping up. Y'all can see Zola in her likeness. Yeah, her long hair. I was trying to add like a few curls in there. I don't draw shoes often. I do need to do that more because I've been looking at the way other people draw shoes, and oh my gosh, I suck at drawing shoes compared to the ones I've been looking at. I know I say not to compare yourself, but you also need to know when, like, you need to know what areas you could be better in. You feel me? But yeah, like, that's my TED Talk for the day. If y'all could relate to anything I've talked about in this when it comes to speaking more candidly, liking videos that make you feel more like you're part of the conversation, you know, like you could just listen to it in the background. You can feel connected with said person. Like, it is parasocial in a way. It is. But it's becoming the norm. And with all the AI that's been going around, I feel like we're starting to need it even more because like we're about to have a generation, the generation that's growing up right now, like the people born this year, they will not know a world without AI at all. Think about that. So I feel like it's up to us to show them that. Like we need to show the kids what a real human being is and what they're capable of, and that they not everything has to be perfect. Not every edit has to be perfect. And I feel like this generation we've had to try to live to those expectations due to what we see on social media. Like we always see the edited version of stuff. We never see the raw, uncut, candid videos that people make unless they're doing like a podcast. Um, but yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. I appreciate you for staying here this long, listening to me yap. Apparently, from what from what Johnny said, that's the buzzword right now. And I agree. I've actually been using that word. But yeah, peace out, y'all. I'm Mobon Kiki, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I'll be doing another Ink with me and a Jaw with me. Peace.